From the ancient roots of enlightenment to commanding global influence, how have Buddhist countries reshaped power in 2025? Is it only about peace, or is there strength behind that serenity? Stay tuned as we count down the top 6 most powerful Buddhist countries in the world 2025. You might be surprised who made the list and who didn't. At number 6 on our list stands the spiritual jewel of South Asia, Sri Lanka. With over 70% of its population practicing Theravāda Buddhism, it's a land deeply rooted in faith. This island nation is home to one of the oldest continuous Buddhist traditions in the world. The ancient city of Anuradhapura, once a capital, is now a UNESCO Buddhist heritage site. The temple of the sacred tooth relic in Kandy is revered across the Buddhist world. In 2025, Sri Lanka launched a digital Dharma project, archiving thousands of ancient texts. Sri Lanka's monks are not just spiritual guides, they are active voices in politics and peacebuilding. Every year, thousands of foreign monks visit for training at Buddhist universities in Colombo and Kandy. Sri Lanka is a global leader in Buddhist diplomacy, hosting the 2025 International Sangha Summit. Its government officially funds Buddhist festivals and temples through national policies. The Esala Perahera festival now draws tourists and spiritual seekers from over 50 countries. Sri Lankan monks are increasingly active on social media, spreading mindfulness across platforms. With the rise of meditation tourism, Buddhist retreats in Sri Lanka are booming. In regional politics, Sri Lanka positions itself as a neutral peace envoy backed by Buddhist values. It has forged cultural partnerships with Thailand, Bhutan, and Japan to promote Buddhist education. The country also leads in Buddhist art restoration and heritage tech. Schools now integrate Dhamma lessons alongside science and math in their curriculum. Sri Lanka's Buddhist influence extends to global forums like UNESCO and the WHO. In 2025, it is seen as a rising soft power with spiritual depth. That's why Sri Lanka takes the 6th spot among the most powerful Buddhist countries in the world. Taking the 5th spot is the majestic and resilient land of Cambodia. With nearly 97% of its population practicing Theravāda Buddhism, it is one of the most Buddhist nations on earth. The iconic Angkor Wat, once a Hindu temple, now stands as the world's largest Buddhist monument. In 2025, Cambodia has doubled down on its cultural diplomacy, linking religion with global tourism. The Cambodian Sangha plays a vital role in education, disaster relief, and community leadership. Buddhist monks are deeply respected, and often serve as moral advisors to government officials. Cambodia's Buddhist universities now attract international students from 12+ countries. The government promotes Buddhist environmentalism, protecting forests as sacred land. In recent years, Buddhist philosophy has been used to combat corruption and promote ethics in governance. Cambodia hosts the annual ASEAN Buddhist Youth Forum, empowering young spiritual leaders. The Khmer New Year Festival, filled with Buddhist rituals, draws millions every April. The country has developed a Buddhist-themed digital education app, backed by UNESCO. Its monks are central in conflict mediation and social harmony, especially in rural areas. Cambodia's Buddhist charities now fund hospitals, orphanages, and women's shelters. In 2025, a new Buddhist cultural center opened in Phnom Penh with international collaboration. The country's rising GDP is partially fueled by religious tourism and Buddhist heritage trails. Cambodia's leadership sees Buddhism as a core identity, not just a religion. The Wat Phnom and Silver Pagoda continue to inspire awe and devotion among locals and tourists alike. With its growing voice in global Buddhist dialogue, Cambodia is gaining quiet but firm influence. For its unwavering faith and increasing international Buddhist reach. At number 4, we have Myanmar, a nation where Buddhism is not just practiced, it's lived. Around 88% of the population follows Theravāda Buddhism, making it a core of national identity. Myanmar has over 500,000 monks and nearly 100,000 nuns, the largest monastic population in the world. The majestic Shwedagon Pagoda in Yangon is one of Buddhism's most sacred sites, shining since ancient times. Despite political unrest, Buddhist traditions remain resilient and central to social life. In 2025, Myanmar launched the Peace and Mindfulness curriculum in schools nationwide. Buddhist monks in Myanmar are highly educated, often holding influence in politics and public opinion. The country hosted the Pan-Asian Monastic Leadership Forum, strengthening its global Buddhist ties. Meditation schools like Mahasi and Pa-Ok have gained international fame for deep Vipassana training. Over 50,000 international students and retreat seekers visit Myanmar annually for spiritual training. Despite economic hurdles, the Buddhist tourism sector is helping rebuild regional economies. Myanmar's temples, especially in Bagan, have been digitally preserved with UNESCO partnerships. The monastic education system fills gaps where public schooling struggles. Buddhist radio and TV channels now reach audiences in Nepal, India, and Southeast Asia. Myanmar is a vital link in the Buddhist belt, connecting South and East Asia. Its Buddhist charities play a central role in refugee aid and disaster response. Many youth movements in Myanmar are inspired by engaged Buddhism, promoting peace and activism. In 2025, Myanmar launched a project translating ancient Pali texts into 15 world languages. With spiritual depth, monastic influence, and regional Buddhist leadership, Myanmar stands tall. For these reasons, Myanmar confidently claims the fourth spot among the most powerful Buddhist nations in 2025. At number 3, we enter the spiritual heartland of Southeast Asia, Thailand. With over 93% of its population practicing Theravāda Buddhism, it's one of the most devout Buddhist countries globally. Home to more than 40,000 temples and 300,000 monks, Thailand breathes Buddhism. The dazzling Wat Phra Kaew, or Temple of the Emerald Buddha, is the nation's spiritual crown. In 2025, Thailand remains a global center for Vipassana meditation and Buddhist scholarship. The nation has integrated Buddhist ethics into its constitution and education systems. Monks regularly advise political leaders and play roles in public moral debates. Thailand's Buddhist universities are among the top in Asia, drawing students from across the world. The government funds large-scale Buddhist events like Magha Puja and Vesak Day celebrations. Phra Dhammakaya Temple, with its futuristic design, now hosts international mindfulness festivals. Thai monks are global peace envoys, working in the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. The forest tradition of meditation attracts spiritual seekers from North America and Europe. In 2025, Thailand's Mindful Nation campaign reached over 10 million young people. Its monastic health initiatives have helped curb addiction and mental illness in rural areas. Buddhism influences Thailand's foreign policy, especially in Buddhist diplomacy with Laos, Sri Lanka, and Bhutan. The country's digital platforms now stream daily Dhamma talks in more than 25 languages. Thailand has invested heavily in preserving ancient Buddhist manuscripts through AI and blockchain. The Buddhist merit economy, with millions in donations, funds temples and social programs alike. Combining ancient wisdom with modern innovation, Thailand leads with quiet power and deep reverence. For its unmatched spiritual infrastructure and growing global influence, Thailand holds the number 3 spot in 2025. At number 2, we arrive in the land where ancient tradition meets futuristic innovation, Japan. Roughly 67% of Japanese people identify with Buddhism, often blended with Shinto practices. Japan is home to influential sects like Zen, Pure Land, and Nichiren Buddhism. Temples like Kinkaku-ji, Golden Pavilion, and Senso-ji are national treasures and spiritual hubs. In 2025, Japan launched a global initiative, Zen for the Modern World, promoting mindfulness in education and tech. Buddhist values are woven into Japanese culture, from minimalism to moral philosophy. Japan's Risho Kozai Kai and Soka Gakkai movements have millions of global followers. These lay Buddhist movements play a huge role in social activism, education, and diplomacy. Japan's temples are tech-savvy, offering virtual rituals, online chanting, and AI-guided meditation. The Zen corporate culture influences businesses worldwide, from leadership to wellness. Buddhist monks in Japan have become influencers, sharing teachings through YouTube, books, and even anime. Japan's Buddhist universities and think tanks collaborate with institutions from the US and Europe. The nation supports peace-building missions worldwide, grounded in Buddhist ethics. In 2025, Japan hosted the World Buddhist Peace Conference, uniting 80-plus countries. Temples now serve as climate change education centers, blending eco-awareness with spiritual duty. The Japanese government funds Buddhist cultural preservation as part of national identity. With high-tech spiritual hubs and deeply philosophical roots, Japan spreads soft power through Dharma. From robotics in temples to global Zen apps, Japan modernizes Buddhism like no other. Its spiritual outreach bridges continents, while still honoring its centuries-old traditions. For its innovation, influence, and institutional strength, Japan stands strong at number 2. Topping our list at number 1 is the ancient powerhouse with modern reach, China. With over 245 million Buddhist adherents, China has the largest Buddhist population on earth. Though officially secular, Buddhism in China thrives across traditions: Mahayana, Chan, Zen, and Tibetan. Historic temples like Shaolin, White Horse, and Lama Temple are not just relics, they're living institutions. In 2025, China launched the Pan-Asian Buddhist Cultural Exchange Program, influencing over 20 nations. Its Chan, Zen, philosophy shapes not just local spirituality but global mindfulness movements. Chinese universities now offer AI-powered translation of Buddhist texts in 50-plus languages. Through Belt and Road Buddhist diplomacy, China funds temples and cultural centers across Asia and Africa. The government restored hundreds of temples and sacred mountains, like Wutai Shan, with global tourism in mind. China's digital Buddhist platforms now reach over 100 million users worldwide. It trains foreign monks and nuns in multiple provinces as part of religious soft power. Buddhism is embedded in Chinese medicine, art, literature, and even national ethics campaigns. In 2025, China hosted the Global Buddhist Harmony Forum in Hangzhou, attended by 50-plus nations. Chinese monks are key players in climate action, preaching harmony with nature as dharma. Buddhist philosophies are being used to shape AI ethics and corporate governance in China's tech sector. State-approved Buddhist charities support disaster relief, orphanages, and public health. China has revitalized pilgrimage routes, turning sacred landscapes into cultural eco-corridors. The country supports Tibetan Buddhism as both a spiritual and geopolitical strategy. Combining scale, organization, cultural influence, and ancient legacy, China dominates the Buddhist world. That's why China is ranked the most powerful Buddhist country in the world in 2025. In 2025, the influence of Buddhist countries goes far beyond temples and traditions. From Sri Lanka's spiritual diplomacy to China's global cultural outreach, these nations are blending ancient wisdom with modern innovation. Whether through education, technology, peace-building, or international alliances, Buddhism continues to shape the world in powerful, often unexpected ways. As these 6 countries lead with mindfulness and purpose, they remind us that true strength can also come through compassion, clarity, and inner peace.